Coming up on Hold All Tickets, it's the best day of the Flemington Carnival, the last one. We can finally get some sleep. Lamby, you've had a rough week.
Yeah, Cup Day was a strip out, but Pegs and I are aligning on all three Group 1s on Saturday. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. We'll find out.
Pegs, we may have to get the restraining order out.
Joel.
Hello and welcome to Hold All Tickets. It's Thursday, November 7th as we look ahead to Champions Day at Flemington and also just a lot of money going on at Rosehill because PVL says, why not for the 5 diamonds and the golden gift? I'm your host, Alex Donnelly. Very sleep deprived, very tired, but I can't complain too much because at least I haven't had a daughter who's kept me up all night. Saying that, there's James Lamb.
Yes, you'd come across more energy at a funeral than we've brought to the table today, but Champions Day is shaping as a cracking day of racing, so we've got 2 days before that. We'll be up and about come Saturday morning.
We'll slowly build into it. We do have Oaks Day to get through today. And a man who was broken yesterday, he's slightly better today, Xavier Pegum.
What Lammy said.
I will say there, pull back the curtain. I think we've said about 4 words to each other before we hit the record button today. So it's been a phenomenal start. But we are brought to you by our friends at Boombet. They have great fixed odds, more value and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Now, of course, as said, it is Champions Day at Flemington, so can't wait to get into that. We've also got 5 Diamonds Day at Rosehill Gardens, but of course, we have the Self-Trumpeter of the week to kick off things, then the tips and the best bets, and then we'll get into the yays or nays to finish up. But before we get into everything, please make sure you subscribe on YouTube, hit that notifications bell, follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating, and give us a review. Leave a comment, all that good stuff. And as well, social media, X, Facebook, and Instagram, just at punters. We do have a great video up on the socials right now of one ex-Pegum swearing and also apologising within about 3 seconds of the Melbourne Cup finish. It was a very, very good video.
I don't even reckon it was 3 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, that's a long 3 seconds if so, but no.
It's a very good video.
I think I swore as well, but I swore softer than he did, so mine's been bleeped out.
There's the great reaction of you just walking away going, what just happened? It's
What the F is, I think is what I said.
Speaking of that, the Melbourne Cup was run on Tuesday and the Self-Trumpeters were out in force. Lammy, kick us off with the Self-Trumpeter of the week.
Well, before we get into the votes this week, I just have a little bit of audio I want to play.
Oh, no.
So the 3 of us on this show, we value strong opinions before the fact.
Yeah.
Even if they turn out to be amusingly wide of the mark, as long as they are pre-race opinions, we're all for it.
Yep.
So I'm just going to play a little bit of audio of a strong pre-race opinion.
Oh, this is 100% me.
Potentially.
We go to Knight's Choice, who's 100 to 1. Feels like it's missing a 0. They should have sold him to Hong Kong 18 months ago for 2.3 million. He was good at Bendigo, but I don't think he can beat Sea King at the weights.
Missing a 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still stand by it. I don't know.
Should have sold?
Should have sold. Always take the money. Because it's taken 18 months for the horse to win again, so I stand by always sell.
Safe to say, though, let's be honest, Alex probably wouldn't be the only person pre-race
absolutely.
with that opinion. Like, it all took us by surprise.
Yeah, the fact that Knight's Choice started $61 on the tote will be one of the biggest mysteries I've had in a long time. It started 260s on the exchange, so that was probably its price. But honestly, if you backed it on the tote, you've taken mad unders.
Well, that is the lead-in to the first set of votes for this week.
So I was strong pre-race.
Yeah, pre-race. Very strong, very wrong, but enjoyable bullishness.
Yes.
Pre-race. We don't value post-race
No.
expertise, though, which leads me to Trav Noonan copping 3 votes this week. He does a lot of good work, T. Noonan, with his early info regarding Saturday fields and whatnot, but he didn't endear himself to the punting public post-Cup. So Trav tweeted this. Digging into Knight's Choice ratings on Racing Post before the Cup, and they had him at a peak of 116. Buckaroo 122, Vauban 119, Zardosi 118, etc., etc. The horses above him for peak ratings on Racing Post was all there if you wanted to get creative. So the first part of that is fine, but the last line, if you wanted to get creative, come on, Trav. It didn't end there either. He went on to say the following. Knight's Choice, the Cup roughie that got away. Gee, he was findable if wrote off the wet track runs and bonused the unlucky Bendigo Cup effort. So based on all that, you'd think Trav would have had him as a top 10 chance.
Yep.
But no, in amongst all that, he also said, I had him 13th in my market, $51 after the Athapascan scratching. Will haunt me not having something at 301 call of the card. So there's a bit to digest there, but a fair bit of pre from Trav. I did enjoy one of the replies actually from Jack Nicholson. Not the Jack Nicholson, I'm pretty sure, but he said, "Thanks, Trav. Can you also send me the lotto numbers for the next 3 weeks?" So that was good. 3 votes for Trav's post-cup expertise, and yes, I am very much bitter about Knight's Choice winning. But 3 votes for Trav. Going back now to 1 vote. For Damien Ratcliffe, past winner, who has been a bit quieter since he moved out of thoroughbred racing.
He's on 3 votes for the season now, though.
Okay. I might need to go to 2 votes then for Ratcliffe.
Okay.
I'll give him 2 votes. Tweeted before the Coolmore, Switzerland at $6 with Ladbrokes for the Coolmore. Should be close to half that quote, I reckon. So bold call, correct call.
Great call.
But he gets an obvious vote, 2 votes now, for the post-race trumpet, which was, can't believe no one backed it. Won like a superstar. People definitely backed it.
Pretty sure a couple of us tipped it on this show.
Yeah, it was second favourite.
Yeah.
So he gets 2 votes. 1 vote for Adam Brett, our fearless leader, an occasional fill-in on this show. After Adam tipped and backed a winner in Sydney on Cup Day, Dragonstone, you, Alex Donnelly, said to him, "Even a broken clock is right twice a day." To which Adam replied with, "Well, this broken clock has been right plenty of times today." So
I think he said 7.
Yeah,
it
he
was
did say 7. Yeah.
7, was it?
Yeah, he said 7, yeah.
It was a sharp retort with just the right amount of smugness. It was very good.
I threw the bait and got my answer.
Yeah, he gets a vote. 2 votes, Miles Fitzner. Miles he's absolutely loving Miles at the moment. On Sunday, he tweeted, "Bad day to be a bookie if you listen to SEN track. Mick Gannon and I took flight." So he's the rocket man.
Yep.
On Friday, he also sent out a press release basically detailing where punters could find all his tips for the weekend. It was probably a touch over the top from Miles. He gets 2 votes. Where's that put him now?
14.
14.
Yep.
Next best?
10.
Yep.
Over there.
Okay.
Let's go.
He should be home.
Yeah.
Chris Moore, Lion Tamer, 2 votes. He loves a quote tweet of his own work, the Lion Tamer. We've seen it many times in the past.
None this season, so first.
None this season,
Yep.
okay. Before a tissue went around in the Empire Rose last Saturday, Chris dug up one of his own tweets from August 2021, which read, "Looking forward to seeing former Kiwi Tissue have her first start in Australia for Chris Waller. Tipping she will be a major player this spring. Plus, she already has her own emoji, the little sneezing face." So he's retweeted that on Saturday with 2 Group 1s and 4.5 million in stakes later. Empire Rose make it 3 Group 1s, question mark. So he's just reminding everyone that he knew a tissue before she was cool. So he gets 2 votes there. And finally, we round out a very big week. 2 votes for Olivia Kwiatkowski.
I'm just going to write Olivia K.
Yep.
Okay, yep.
That's probably wise. She tweeted after the Melbourne Cup, "No one asked for my tips today, but I backed the winner at $101. So she gets 2 votes for the dirty daily double of pre and a trumpet. She's probably lucky to only get away with 2, but I think first votes ever. I'll go easy on her there.
Yeah.
But that's 11 votes in total.
Big week.
And Miles is having a big spring, and he probably is the man to run down unless Pegs over here can pull something out of the fire.
Because,
See how I go.
Yeah, Kane Corns is 3rd on 7. Luke Hodge is 4th on 4. But you've got G1 Select and Damien Ratcliffe on 4. There's a couple on 3. A host of them on 2. Well, actually, Adam Brett is up to 4 votes now. I just want to take
There's
that.
a couple there that were probably lucky not to get votes as well.
I think Adam's going to have a quick turn of foot.
Yeah,
Nick
Adam's
Ashman was lucky, and on the flat was lucky not to get more votes.
He's in the votes as well. But we have one person that's on -1 because Luke Farrington. I can't remember what he did, but I think he blasted either Wayne Ormond or Damien Ratcliffe for a trumpet. So I gave him a -1. I gave him a free hit.
Very good.
All right, that is a great week of self-trumpet, and we do have Oaks Day and Champions Day to get through. So next week could be good. All right, let's have a look at last week's results. So quickly run through them. Pegs, your best bet at Flemington last week was another wheel. You had racing gods on your side, and you got the job done.
Yeah, it's a really nice win, wasn't it? I think no one can be mad at that one.
I mean, I was on Jimmy Star, so I can be. Yeah, next best was Treasure of the Moment.
Yeah, this is a horse that I have such a high opinion of. I can't wait to see her go around the Oaks.
And your best value was King of Wall Street.
Yeah, missed the place, which I was definitely...
It's a pretty good set for
Yeah.
Pegs.
If it's lobbed in a third, we could,
Yeah, no, it was a good set, if I say so myself. One vote, thanks.
I've led you into that. I'm
yeah.
not giving you a vote for that.
No, but I was pretty happy with it. I feel like he was going to run well. Matt Kamani did sort of mention struggles with that turn of foot. We did see that on Saturday, but just still held itself in really well. Had a great run. I think 4th is a really good result here.
I mean, if you
Not if you back it each way.
Yeah, it's a horrendous result.
No, but it was a great run in a great
you
race.
picked up the prize money, so good for them. But if you back
Good
it,
luck
not so
paying
much.
your next bills with a great run in 4th.
Yeah.
Lammy, your best bet was Growing Empire. Probably had enough after the Everest.
Yeah, I think so. It wasn't quite... Didn't have the same ping in its legs, that's for sure.
Your next best was Politely Done Each Way.
It was awful. It was really, really bad.
And Vagrant was scratched out of the 9th, getting scared after the 100-to-1 tip.
Yeah, 101. I think it got into about 61, and then it came out.
We swapped places last week.
Yeah.
In Sydney, my best bet was Sunshine in Paris. Tommy Berry kind of fell asleep in the first 200 metres, let Bella Nipotina get away with murder up on speed. Good stuff. Next best was Asgarda. It's never led in its life. Why'd you lead on Saturday? And my value was Seafall. 10 into 460. Of course it runs 4th. Good stuff.
Yeah, not quite as good as Pegs has said, that one.
That's not a good set at all. All right,
I'm not falling for that one, guys.
Let's have a look at Saturday with Boombet. Of course, we have the feature races, the 3 Group 1s. We'll just get our top tip from the boys for all of them. But before we get into that, just some notes from our friends at Boombet. Champions Sprint. Punters have launched into Bella Nipotina since the final fields. Sizable liability in the first hour of betting. They're going to be top price, Bella, as they think it's going to be under the odds. They're keen to lay Giga Kick. They think Barrackeel looks some value, and they think Sunshine in Paris will attract some interest. In the mile, punters have been pretty quiet so far. No notable moves. They're going to take on Broadsiding and Antino. Of course, they expect some interest with Mr. Brightside and Fangirl. They think Pride of Jenni is about the right price, but with Melamon, that could force a move. They didn't say negative or positive. And in the Champion Stakes, early action has been relatively quiet on Via Sistina. They think she's likely to shorten. A Tissue at Flemington, they're expecting big support there, and they're happy to take on Without a Fight first up from the Melbourne Cup. They think Docklands is a runner that's going to see some early bets and has seen some early bets. Now, today, Thursday, so by the time you listen to this, their Boom Odds special this week. They got the cash last week with the Buckaroo and the Melbourne Cup. $6 for Bella Nipotina to finish first or second in the Champions Sprint.
Not a bad offer.
Head to Boombet, $6. Bella Nipotina to finish first or second this Saturday. Terms and conditions, of course, apply. Let's get to the sprint. It is one of the first features of the day. And quickly, what a day of racing this is.
Brilliant day. All 3 Group 1s, apart from, you'd think Via Sistina is obviously the horse to beat in the stakes race. But the other 2 are really good betting races, really deep races. If you like something, you'll get good odds.
It was the same last year. We had Paratriz as the $1.80 favourite in the sprint last year, and the other 2 races were wide open, which was good. So let's get your top tip. Xavier, I'm actually going to write up a restraining order after this for you.
Right, Bellatrix Star.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I love this girl. I remember the first time she had
a smile on his face.
Yeah, I know. She makes me all fluster and everything, but I remember the first time.
Giddy little schoolgirl.
Schoolgirl. No,
You got a crush, mate.
Absolutely. You have to keep me away from it. Bloody Benny Gleeson, hold out the stick, mate. No. I remember the first time she ran, and I'm happy to take votes here, but I was like to Adam, I was like, you got to get on this horse at 34s. And
this was in the Quizette.
No. This I think it was before that.
Oh no, this was the Quizette when she got rolled.
Yeah, she got absolutely rolled. And I was so embarrassed because I gave this tip to the world, and then the week after I was like, she let me down. What does she do? Obviously, she wins, and then I get back on when she's good. So, Bellatrix Star, I think really lightweight here in the straight. I think she's proven that she's able to race in this company. Amazing odds as well. It's definitely a really good each way chance.
Lammy, you're with it too.
I am. Yeah, as Xavier mentioned, the lightweight, 51.5 kilos. She was the running of the race in the Coolmore outside of Switzerland, obviously. Just struck trouble at the start there, got a long way back, but was zooming home. Really like that run. Obviously, she takes on the big boys and girls here. My only real query is that this is a 6th start for the campaign.
Yeah.
So whether there's enough left in the tank. But I think at $12 or thereabouts, she's worth having a crack each way.
She's currently $10.40 and $3.40 with Boombet.
So there's been a bit of money.
Yep. I'm with Overpass. I've got him on top because a lot of these horses have been in their grand finals. He's second up into this. He was brilliant first up. He probably would have won the Everest if he ran in it first up. Look, currently $5.60. I think he'll jump. He'll roll along. He'll kick. Good luck catching him. He's $5.60 in
Probably a
210.
horse that's consistently underrated, or undervalued.
We got, I think it was about $5 or $6 first up. So I'm just going to keep rolling on because that was a Group 1 quality field in the Sydney Stakes. So he's won down the straight before. And last week, if you listen to Hold All Tickets, Bjorn Baker, very confident in a shock to no one.
He was underrated in last year's trip at Flemington. He gave the racing.com team a blast on the camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
He said in Bjorn's words, he says, whoever does your ratings deserves the sick.
Well, yeah, he's 7 wins over the 1,200 metres. Then he's going to go over to Ascot where he is 4 from 4 over the 1,200 metre there. So
Bjorn at Ascot. Could you imagine the celebrations?
Oh, he's going to be knighted there. All right, let's get to the mile. This is possibly the best betting race of this carnival, I reckon. When you have a look at it, you got Mr. Brightside there, $5.60. Antino, $5.60. Pride of Jenni, $5.80. Fangirl, $6.20. Broadsiding, $6.60. But Steffi Magnetica backs up into this. You've got another Will on the back up, $10.20. This is a great race. Pride of Jenni with the jockey change. Do we want to get some quick thoughts on that? I'll save it till later.
I think we're going to discuss it in the yays or nays.
We'll discuss it later. All right. Who have we got on top? Lamby, we'll go with you first, mate.
Broadsiding. Wide gate to overcome, but he should really find Flemington to his liking, provided the track plays fairer than it did on Cup Day, where it was pretty hard to make ground there. But he's obviously come through that brutal Cox Plate in good order. Yep. Otherwise, James Cummings wouldn't be risking him in this. 3 from 4 over the trip, so coming back to the mile is no issue at all. And I think he's just the horse with a bigger ceiling, I guess, than a few of his rivals that we've seen at this level for a few years.
Pigs?
Yeah, the mile certainly is trip. I think we've found not third in a Cox Plate as well. If don't mind if we do. Tricky barrier, but I think Mark Woody gets him into a good position early on. Broadsiding will just say, hold my beer.
Yeah, I'm with him as well. Let's make it a trifecta of broadsiding tips as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a bit of a dig in the ribs to settle a little bit closer because, well, we know what Fangirl's going to do. She's going to be about 15 lengths off Pride of Jenni at some stage here. May as well go across and try and see if you can get outside of Mr. Brightside, who's got the blinkers on. He'll be up there as well. So I think just roll the dice from barrier 13 with no weight and put yourself in a close enough position. I think he's great odds. We can get each way at the moment. All right, the Champion Stakes. Really interesting race. We do see the return of Without a Fight, who's apparently on his way to Hong Kong if he runs well here. So that'll be very interesting to see. Royal Champion, also same connections, runs in this race instead of the mile, which looked to be his race, I thought, if he was going to run in that. Without a Fight's been backed in $9.70 early, but Via Sestino $1.64. A Tissue obviously won this race last year on the backup, $8.10. Another trifecta of Via Sestinas.
Yeah, I don't know how you can tip against her on what she did in the Cox Plate. Smashed the track record. Could have gone even quicker if J-Mac didn't spend the last 70 metres celebrating. Drawn perfectly in barrier 4 and is only 5th up this campaign, and her runs have been pretty well spaced. Yeah. So I think there's a bit more to give for her, and she should be winning this. A Tissue, the main danger for me. And looking forward to seeing what Without a Fight does first up. He's actually got a really good fresh record. So I think he'll be fine in the line, and he's obviously one for exotics.
He had a very quiet first up run last year in the Underwood before winning the Cups double, but he did win the Lord Mayor's Cup first up 18 months ago. Pegs, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke about Cox Plate form before with broadsiding. I mean, we might as well talk about Cox Plate form from someone who actually won the race. Yeah, she's an absolute freak. I can't wait to see what she does further on. Just
a little bit of word of warning. Cox Plate horses that have come in this the last few years haven't got the best of records. Animo got rolled in this race a few years ago. So just note, he got rolled at $1.70 as well, where it looked to be the fill-up job. So we'll wait and see. But the way she won that Cox Plate, being only 5th up now, I think she should be winning there. Yep. All right, Pegs, let's get to your best bet of the day. You are tipping at Flemington, and I believe this is a bit of inside knowledge that you are tipping with here.
Yeah, with race 1, number 5, Prince Eric from the Archie Alexander stable. Comes off some great UK form where he won his last 4 starts following the ultimate gear change. He's gone on to beat horses such as Mr. Monaco, who's been acquired by the Kieran Maher stable and worth $1 million at the moment. So since arriving in Australia, he's trialled really nicely. He should be able to get some black type under his belt further on, in my opinion. If punters want to watch his last start, it was at Sandown in the UK. The way he held on to win. Like you'd see 200 metres ago, he can't win. He's stuck in the pack. It was a great ride, but a lot of great stamina from the horse. I think you get some really good odds with Boombet, and I definitely think it's not just going to win, but I think let's just put it each way.
Okay, best each way. I don't mind it. Your next best.
Yeah, Kinesiology, race 3, first run. Funnily enough, going with a couple of imports. Yeah, first run in Australian soil, another Northern Hemisphere import that's made their way to Australia now. Trained by Chris Waller, but interestingly enough, was nearly actually picked up by Tiakau. He's a stakes place horse under Jessica Harrington in Ireland, and we'll definitely see out the trip at 2,600 metres. I expect him to actually be in the Melbourne Cup next year.
I mean, he was in on Tuesday and he was off the map there. So I think punters showed their hand nice and early when he was entered. And give us your best value. You've already tipped it up, but it is Bellatrix Star.
Yeah, Bellatrix Star. Nice little each way bet there. Race 6, number 12. I'd say no more.
Yep. Lammy, your best. We just heard it.
Bit of repetition here. I'm also going with Kinesiology. As you mentioned, scratch from an easier race on Tuesday in favour of this. A win gets him a start in next year's Melbourne Cup, so he'll be ready to go. Yep, he'll be ready to go first up. He's only been out of the top 2 once in his 10-start career. He's pretty hard to knock. I think he's got a fair bit on this field.
So these colours won it last year with Muramasa. They won it the year before with Solcombe, who was first up off the plane as well, who passed the ballot for the Melbourne Cup. So they're going for 3 for 3, Aussie and John O'Neill and the crew. And your next best?
Race 4, number 4, Ray Magnerio. He's bursting to win a race like this, Ramondo. He just can't quite get there. You could argue he had his chance last time, but he was only beaten a lip, and that was a fast race. A repeat of that performance. Should see him as the horse to beat in this. I like the stand side draw for him. I think he'll be zooming home when it counts. I am gravitating towards horses drawn out in the straight course races on Saturday. I think they will be steering away from the inside section.
Okay, and your best value, again, some repetition.
Yep, Bellatrix Star, reasons outlined earlier. Love the Coolmore run, and 51 kilos looks dangerous.
All right, we'll get to Rosehill, where I'm tipping up for the day. Rail is out in the 3 metre position, and we are on a good 4 currently. 5 Diamonds Day. My best comes up in the 5 Diamonds. Now, I did these tips last night when my best bet is Territory Express, who was currently about $8 at the time, but with the scratching of Docklands this morning, who stays in Melbourne, he's into about $4.40, and I still want him as that 1x3 play because he's his own worst enemy. He missed the kick first up, absolutely should have won that. He missed the kick a couple of times up in Queensland and probably should have won. He ran into Gringotts and Knight's Choice in the listed mile race there. It's been the hottest form race of all time. It's produced the Melbourne Cup winner and the Big Dance winner, the 2 big handicaps on the first Tuesday in November. Anyway, up to the 1,800 metres looks to be very suitable here. Hopefully, Zach Lloyd can settle a little bit closer from barrier 7. I think he's got the upside in this field that a lot of these don't. I'm really happy to back him at that 1x3 just in case he misses the kick once again. Next best comes up in the 5th race, just a benchmark race here over 1,800 metres again. But I'm with Unique Ambition, sticking with Zach Lloyd. He's riding like an absolute jet at the moment. Look, first up, she was a good winner in a midway and then led them up in the angst and was run down by Lek Vata, who just sprouted rings there. Now, she wasn't too bad last week in the Group 1 Empire Rose, but I think that if she jumps and she can lead and get her own time in front, she's going to be very hard to catch. We've seen that at Rosehill over these staying trips. Sometimes they just get rolling and you're very hard to run down. And I think at $3.85, she's a good bet. And my best value comes up in the first. Race 1, number 1, the old Ian Craig, Conrad. Go back and watch the replay of his last start in a midway at Randwick. He absolutely should have won. It was a sickening, sickening watch for those that were on at 40s. I may have been one of them. Hopefully gets a little bit of luck once again from barrier 9. It's currently $10 and pretty happy to back him each way.
Very nice.
Yep. Yays and nays, Lammy. What do we got this week?
Declan Bates has been done dirty with his dumping from Pride of Jenni. Yay or nay?
Oh, absolutely yay. What's the bloke done wrong in the last 12 months since he got on board? They're like, oh, he went too fast in the Cox Plate. If you go to X and look at Daniel O'Sullivan's breakdown, you just go through that and you can understand why Pride of Jenni didn't perform to her best, especially given she ran in the $5 million race the week before in Sydney. This just smacks of Tony Otobre being a sore loser once again.
Yeah, I think she was she and Bates were on a bit of a hiding to nothing in the Cox Plate. Because as you mentioned, she on the quick backup, it wasn't really the original plan to have those 2 races in 1 week. She was well below her best there, and I think Bates is probably being made the scapegoat for that.
Yeah, oh, totally. But let's also just discuss, hey, maybe there were some quality horses in the Cox Plate. Yeah. We ever thought about that?
Yeah.
Like it's a complete dummy
I think
spit.
it's 4 Group 1s on her and produced arguably the Ride of the Year in the Queen Elizabeth. So I think it's incredibly harsh. I mean, jockeys get replaced all the time, but this does feel like a harsh call.
It's a complete dummy spit, and in my opinion, like Declan Bates has shown his true colours, and he released a statement. He was so gracious about being thrown off, and all hats off to him.
Well, you're not going to come out swinging about it because you want to hope to get back on.
Yeah,
Behind closed doors, he might be punching walls.
Yep. Champions Day has gone past Derby Day as the best day of racing on the Oz calendar. Yay or nay?
I'm going to say nay because I still believe day one of the championships is the best day of the year at Royal Randwick. That's my favourite day.
It's Sydney bias.
But this day has jumped Derby Day.
Okay, I'm going to say yay. I don't think Derby Day is not as strong as it once was, and Stakes Day has been boosted.
Yep.
I just love the 3 Group 1 grand finals over 3 different trips, and you get all the best horses in Australia going around. No clashes with Sydney either, which is nice.
It's what you get in Hong Kong in a month's time as well, where you got the 12, 16, 2024. Like it's the champion. It is Champions Day.
Yeah, I love Stakes Day. I'm a yay with you. It's my favourite day out of the whole carnival. It's also once the day is over, you're like, righto, the madness is done.
Yeah, Go and have a lie down.
Exactly.
Spending hours doing the form on the Melbourne Cup is a complete waste of time. Yay or nay?
Yay. Even behind the screen, producer home is like, yay. It's like
anyone. Sorry to interrupt you, Alex, but anyone that goes up to you, other than maybe without a fight last year, and goes, "Oh, bruh, I know the absolute certainty to win the Melbourne Cup." You are an absolute BS artist. And we'll combine with the fact you are a liar. No one knows.
Yeah.
No one knows, right?
Yeah.
Prince of Penn's answered a great Melbourne Cup win. But what did it come in at? Like
hundreds,
right?
I think the last horse there, it was like Super Cup. This will dead set win was cross count, and that was what 8 years ago, 6 years ago, and it was like $10, so big whoop. But
and a lot of people had without a fight on last year, but like no one picked Gold Trip. Realistically,
a couple of people did.
I had a bit on it, but
But yeah, it is like I had a friend who goes for the Newcastle Knights. Text me, and she was like, "Yeah, I back the winner. I go for the Newcastle Knights." I'm like, I hate you so much.
Yep. Last one. If J-Mac rode Buckaroo, the result is different. Yay or no?
Nay. Stop whinging, John O'Neill. Honestly, I'm getting sick of you going on radio every year after a horse gets beaten and complaining. The horse didn't stay. You went back to last, and you peaked at the 200. Get over it.
I'm going to say yay.
Really?
I'm not. He wouldn't have won.
You were
I
on
don't think. I was tipping Buckaroo, but he's covered 15 metres more than the winner Knight's Choice, and it was a really tough day to be swooping out wide from the back, especially with a horse who was a question mark at 2 miles. I think, look, he was beaten 3.5 lengths. Coming around the whole field has probably cost him around 2. As I said, he probably doesn't win, but I think he could have got into the minor money. So I will say the result would have been different.
Yeah. If he picks and if he goes for the runs Knight Choice does and gets held up and runs up backsides again, he gets ostracised and yelled at for not swinging wide and staying out of trouble.
Yeah, someone made a good point.
Knight Choice was 100 to 1.
When you're on 100 to 1 shot, you go for that risky ride along the fence because the expectations are a lot lower. When you're riding a favourite, you get crucified if you find all sorts of rump up the straight. So I can see why he did it, but he probably needed to save a bit more ground.
Yeah, I think
easier said than done from barrier 21.
Yeah, I think it's also very easy to sort of criticise Joao's ride in the sense of like Joao Moreira. Joao Moreira. Yeah, I said his name.
Joao.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Joe.
Yeah, it was Joao. It's his real name.
Okay.
Gets read book. No.
Read a book.
It's very easy to sort of like criticise a ride and very easy to say, oh yeah, the result could be different. It could have even gone. It could have even been worse. I'm not saying like obviously J-Mac is the GOAT, but like at the same time, I'm a strong nay. I think at the end of the day, Robbie Dolan just rode that thing like the ride of his life.
He rode it perfectly, and if we got a bit of a better ride from Sugarawa on warp speed, it probably wins by a length and a half.
Yeah,
or even absurd.
Yeah, we don't talk about the war.
Yeah, that's go check out that video of Pegs who was on warp speed. It was a great time. All right, that is us done and dusted today on Hold All Tickets. Thanks for joining us in Cup Week. It has been an absolutely massive week with thanks to our friends from Boombet. More value and more boom moments. Sign up today and get in on the boom. Lammy, you're almost done for the week, mate.
Yeah, 1 day to go. Hopefully I can tip a few more winners than I did on Cup Day. That was a dead set strip out.
Yeah, and next week we got the 1,000 guineas, I believe. So it doesn't end. We keep going straight into 1,000 guineas.
I meant, one more day of the Flemington
Cup Carnival. But the 1,000 guineas and the Rupert Clark next week, I believe. But Pegs, mate, good luck.
Yeah, let's see if I can back it up.
Anyway, make sure you get to punters.com.au. Check out all the written previews. Of course, everything we get up to on social media at Punters. It is at Facebook, Instagram, and X. Of course, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Hit the subscribe button so anytime we do some content, it does drop. We'll have a video of Caitlin Mallion giving her top tips for all the Group 1s coming up on Friday on social media as well. So check that out. Thank you to Homie behind the screen, but we will catch you later on Hold All Tickets.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.